I've had about 10 ceremonies, I think, in my life, and this one felt like the first, because it was the first time that I experienced this death and a rebirth. I hadn't talked to my cousin in years, and I wasn't by her side when she died. But suddenly, during a plant medicine ceremony in the Costa Rican jungle, memories of Waheed washed over me and flooded my consciousness. Then came a flood of a different kind. Tears. Lots of them. I remembered helping her pick out a wedding song at the Virgin Megastore in Beirut, and riding in the car with her from the airport the first time we ever visited Lebanon. "Does he speak Arabic?" her mom asked. "Better than you," was her witty response. I thought she was so cool with her short hair and tall, slender body. I was fearful and she was brave. I overthink everything while she was effortlessly spontaneous. So I laid there in ceremony, vulnerable and raw, thinking how if people are stars, I was a flicker and Waheed was the sun. I'm Frankie and this is Bryant. We brought my little brother Mike and Bryant's dad Richard to Rhythmia Life Advancement Center, where we sat in ceremony together for 4 consecutive nights. Your dad was next to me in ceremony.
I know.
He's amazing. He was just dancing the whole time.
I know. He said he had the most positive trip. And mind you, this is the first time my dad's ever done any medicine.
Yeah. So many families here this time. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
There's Danny and his mom, Robert and his daughter, me and my brother, Joe and his wife, you and your dad. Mm-hmm. Families come here to heal, you know, and you see it. You see it.
So when somebody goes through a traumatic experience in their life, the emotions that are present during trauma get in the way of their survival. So if I'm being abused as a kid, I have fear and anger and chaos, confusion, guilt, shame, all these emotions. Those get in the way if I'm trying to behaviorally survive an abusive moment. So what happens is those emotions of trauma get pushed into the amygdala part of the brain. That's what stores our subconscious process. And then I go about my life and they're stuck there in my amygdala and they're starting to influence my life without me really knowing why or how. So I might not trust people, I might not engage in relationships that are meaningful, I might have a standoff sort of vibe with people and I feel alone and isolated. So then I do plant medicine, I do ayahuasca. My amygdala opens up and here comes all these emotions flooding out. And they connect with a part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex. And that's our conscious rational self, and that's those two parts of the brain link up and then process the emotions out. That's why people are laughing or crying, screaming, all kinds of emotions, right? It's the amygdala releasing. So it's very therapeutic. It's amazing actually when that's happening.
The medicine is, again, designed specifically for you, right? It's a reflection of you. In essence, it's not so important what you're seeing, rather how it's making you feel, because what it's causing, the feeling it's causing in you is kind of clicking these tumblers in your mind that give you clarity about your issue. So sometimes on the medicine you see something and it's like, oh, I didn't know that happened to me, like I saw, and it was real. But a lot of times people will see something really traumatic and they're like, that didn't happen. I know that didn't happen. What does that mean? Does that mean it's gonna happen? Does that mean, right?
Right.
And again, it's not important what the content is. Because the medicine is reflective, it's reflecting back to you, how is it making you feel, gives you the answer that you're looking for. It unlocks, it's like clearing out the debris so that you can get clarity.
Bryant left home when he was 15, and all this time his dad Richard thought it was his fault. They came to heal that trauma. What are you guys feeling? Appreciation for each other?
Yeah, deep appreciation.
This was my little brother before a ceremony. He's setting his intention at a site Rhythmia calls the Labyrinth.
Why
I came in with a lot of hesitation and, you know, anxiety about it. And I didn't really know what to expect. And I didn't do any research before because I didn't want to like psych myself out or anything. But I came here with an open mind, and I'm a very analytical person, a very scientific person. So I came in very, you know, I was expecting a vacation. And every time Frank would tell me, yeah, I hope you're not expecting like a vacation. This is not a vacation. I was like, okay, I don't know what that means, but now I get it. You know, it's, the resort is beautiful. The food is amazing. I spent a lot of time at the pool. I've gone on great tan while I was here, and it was very relaxing, but it is hard work, but beautiful work.
One of the beautiful things about Rhythmia is the space they create for healing to occur. Sarah and Brad are two of the shamans here, and they are masters at moving energy. Here's a look at a cleansing they did for us ahead of ceremony. It's like we're doing deep healing with the medicine, and then deep pampering during the day. And so it's like you love yourself, you love your body, and then you go in and you do the warrior work, you know, the real
you release.
Yeah.
What do they say? You're like releasing, and then what do you want to fill the space with that you created? So being in that bliss, being in that ecstasy, communicating with others, sharing love, being present and listening.
And we weren't the only families there. We spoke to others who say ayahuasca helped them heal on so many layers.
Well, I first came here because I was very severely depressed. I was in a really dark state, struggling with suicidal ideation, and ayahuasca came to me 3 times over the course of 5 days. Very strong call. So I came 1 month later, and I worked out some really deep stuff. I merged back with my soul, I healed my heart, and when I came back, my depression was completely gone.
I just said, well, I have to see what this is about, so I booked it for a few months after, and absolutely I would not change it for anything that we did it separately and now coming together. I was able to really go in on myself, just focus on me, connect with the beautiful souls here at Rhythmia, and once I got home, we said, we got to come back together, so this is that trip.
So my mother passed away in cancer in 2006. She was 41, she got diagnosed, and a couple days before her 46th birthday, she passed away. And from 2006 to 2011, I just had severe depression because I didn't know how to handle that. So I went down to Peru, to my first center, and it was a life-changing experience. Right off the bat, that trip cleared majority of my depression away in 3 nights of drinking the medicine. Every 2 years, I just feel like I want to reconnect with that medicine, reconnect with my mother, because while I'm under the influence of the medicine, I can feel her. It's almost like as if she was giving me a hug throughout the whole process. It's very therapeutic for me. It's hard to even put into words the benefits that I get from that, from going past that. It's just so healing for me. So last night, the first cup, I felt good. I felt good about it. But after the second cup is when the journey really started for me. And then part of it, just when I was just connecting with my mom, thinking about my mom, and just all of a sudden, the song came on. It was Mother, I Feel You. It was just like the timing couldn't be more perfect. And it was beautiful, but it was also haunting at the same time because the song just kept going on and on. In the beginning, I loved it, but by the end, I'm like, just please stop. Like, it's almost like it's becoming too much for me to hear that. So it's almost in that sense, it was like sadness, but then afterwards also it's like joy too. It's a roller coaster in that sense.
A roller coaster, as AJ said, the ride of a lifetime for our own family as well.
Coming back from Rhythmia, my first time, I have really been able to communicate much better. I don't take things so personally now. I'm not hurting so much inside, so I'm much better able to handle anything that comes up between us. So it's very much strengthened our relationship.
I'll resonate with that. The communication has drastically increased, I would say, since she came back from Rhythmia, and then also I'd say even more so once I came back. I think because we just knew ourselves better, we could then better communicate with each other.
Laughing hysterically, I was crying at one point, thinking about a cousin who passed away and all the healing that needed to be done there, and we had a beautiful chat, and she took me back to our old town, and like just a lot of really incredible things. And at one point I was saying, into myself, oh, I'm doing it for so many people, I'm doing it for so many people, because it was hard to breathe, because I was like, I'm breathing for my brother, for my sister, my mom, my dad, my cousins, my whole like ancestors. And and her name is Valeska. She knew, and she was sitting next to me, and she said, I know you're breathing for so many people, you're doing this for so many people. She knew. And as when I was thinking I had a rebirth, she whispered in my ear, happy birthday, brother.
So I really loved how they premised that there's two energies that we come into this human experience with. One being the ancestral karma, and then the other being our soul's karma. And I was tapping in uniquely to both those frequencies, and I felt like my dad's shoulder pain, my brother's, heartache, and I also felt like how it's all interconnected, and then also my essence that's interweaving with all of us. And it was just making the decision, like, this stops with me. I can transmute this pain that lives inside me. I was called immediately afterwards the journey to go hold my dad, and I held him and I petted his head.
You were cradling him.
Kissed him on the cheek. I was like, gotcha, pops, and so many people afterwards came up to us saying that we're helping them heal their own fathers and son daughter wounds, and that was incredible to feel and be a part of. Another thing is like seeing my dad, as my dad was so limiting to him. I got past kind of his age. He's 73 years old. I got past what he looks like. I got past our past experiences, and I saw him as a soul. And then as soon as I saw him as a soul, I saw everything as this one soul. And I'm not going to get too abstract, because those are the experiences you can never explain. But that was really what anchored in me last night.
How's your brother doing? He's one of like 3 people that actually drank 3 cups. So he was just like an assassin in there. He's like, I'm going for it.
My brother went for it. I was so proud of him. And the fact that he's going again tonight.
Yeah.
The first thing my brother says when I walk back into our room, he said, I finally understand you.
They say there's like not just your own soul and it's ancestral healing, and I understood what that meant too, because I was getting visions of my parents and what their struggles that they went through, their emotions and their pain, and my brother and my sister, and I really understand them now much better. It's just going to be a much more open and understanding relationship going forward.
I'm 73 years of age, and I've experienced a lot of good things in my life. But after the third night, I actually experienced 3 of the most beautiful nights of my life, all 73 years worth. As Mike was saying earlier, from the bottom of our heart, you just can't say enough good things. It went far and beyond what we anticipated.
I walk around day-to-day life kind of always skeptical of it. I'm like, this isn't real. This isn't real, I walk around just completely unconvinced that we are not in a dream, that we're not in a matrix. I play my part, I play my role, but in the back of my mind, it's always there. And so I was saying out loud, it's not real, none of this is real. And she's cradling me and cradling me. And then I have this release, this laughing, I'm crying at this point, and I'm just like, oh my God, because I felt so much love. I said, it's real. Oh my God, it's real. It's real. And Valeska was her name. She whispered in my ear, your healing is real, brother. Your healing is real. And that's the truth about life, isn't it? Your heart, el corazón, it knows what's real. Your heart knows what's real. Healing is real. Love is real. Forgiveness is real. Those emotions that we have for one another is real. Everything else is an illusion. The fight that you guys had yesterday, the death of somebody, they didn't die. They changed form. It's all an illusion, but the love, the forgiveness, the lessons, the healing, you better believe that is real. For those of you watching, I just want you to know, I know who you are, because I've been there and I still go there. I know you. But what's more beautiful is that I know who you are after working with plant medicine, after connecting with your soul, merging back with your inner child. I know who you are then. You're skeptical now, maybe, you're cynical, you've been hurt, you're scared. But I know, I've seen who you are after working with plant medicine, and I can't wait to meet that person. I can't wait for the world to meet that person, because we need you.
Yeah, I talk about sort of, the struggles that I had in the Western medical model in the field of psychology and also medicine, working at UCLA and different rehabs and psychiatric hospitals, private practices, all kinds of stuff, and the barriers that I was hitting with my patients who were very high-risk people, trauma victims, mostly women, acute psychiatric patients, and people that have drug and alcohol addictions. So the Western medical model, what I talk about, is good to a certain point, but then doesn't really resolve those issues for people very well. And it leaves people medicated and upset and still anxious and depressed and with traumatic sort of histories. Plant medicine is a quick remedy that actually produces self-connection and empowerment in a person so they can make the changes they need to make to heal themselves and have a happy life.
So the medicine in all relationships really helps to clear out the grit and the grime of the journey and all of the layers of BS that keep us from seeing the truth. And typically, because all relationships are sacred mirrors,
Right.
all relationships are sacred mirrors reflecting back to us the areas within ourselves that are seeking to be healed or brought to the light. So that colleague of yours that actually that colleague of yours that's
you know who you are.
and mine, right, that just is like nails on a chalkboard,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They're the sacred mirror for us, because whatever they're calling forth is a projection. So how does ayahuasca help with familial healing? Is it helps turn that mirror on you, and you're seeing the reflection of those areas within you that need to be healed. And so you're healing yourself, you're forgiving yourself, and from that place you can forgive the unforgivable. You can heal your heart. The medicine is a very high vibration consciousness, right? Everything we know from quantum physics, that everything is frequency and vibration. And if there's a higher frequency molecule and a lower frequency molecule, that the higher frequency cannot be diminished to the lower frequency, but the lower frequency will be brought up to the higher frequency. So the purge is anything in a low frequency that's lodged in your body: fear, doubt, worry, lack, limitation, guilt, shame, trauma, all of those things that, stress, hatred, ugliness, whatever it is that you're holding, resentment, they keep coming. All the stuff that I can hold, like all that, you drink the medicine and the medicine goes in, and that's why you have to purge. You have to go through the bitterness. You have to go, that stuff has to be removed.
I will help you any way I can. Take my hand. Take my hand. I will help you to understand. 'Cause you're my friend. You're my friend.